Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn biology, today proteins, and after we've done that we're going to do shoulder impingement training. And if you participate in shoulder impingement training, that's the always. Now, we already read it all through, but now we're going to want to read through and look at the precise knowledge we want to learn. And yes, I want to say, we are just broadly learning, so we're not specifically learning for proteins or anything, or what is explained here. We're just searching for information for us to learn. We're not learning specifically about proteins to answer these questions or what is demanded here. Proteins are needed for growth, and so it is important to eat the correct amount. Okay, proteins are there for growth, and here's also a rebuild name for growth and repair. This is called the estimated average requirement, EAR, and can be calculated using the formula 0.6 times the body mass in kilogram. And out comes the gram of protein to eat. It seems a lot. But let's say that someone is weighing 80 kilogram. 0.6 times 80 kilogram, and that is then in gram. So that would be around 50 gram. But that is a lot. What I mean with a lot is, of course, here the other main food molecules named are water. That's, of course, more, not 2 liters, 2 kilograms. But 50 gram of proteins are advised on average. Now, that is what we keep in mind. So we're not learning for whatever. That is, we are not trying to learn this formula or whatever. What we want to learn now is, of course, you can know whatever you want. That here's a more or less advised 50 gram. Now, don't take that as a medical advice, but 50 gram. Now we want to keep that number in mind for the coming parts, and keep it in mind, and then think of 50 gram. What it means, just if we have that number, 0.6 times the body mass. Basically, you could almost say what is in kilograms of body mass in gram proteins. It's not 50 or 80, but it's enough for biology, because this is not a medical advice. And also not whatever that is, what number says to be given there. We want to learn biology, and that's not so important if it's not 50 or 80. Maybe you just weigh 130 kilograms and now with 80. Or you are breastfeeding, you're pregnant. And I'm wondering a bit about what does increase the protein demand, or what is it called, the protein requirement. Because here's listed age, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. And not activity. So I'm a bit wondering, what is it? Growth and repair. Now, if that is about activity to enlarge the muscle size, that seems to be growth. So if someone is active and increases their muscle mass, then proteins would be needed. But I'm a bit wondering about it if it's just activity. What if it is activity without muscle growth? Because what if the protein requirement is independent from the energy requirement? So if someone does sport, they need energy, but do they then necessarily, because of the sport and their physical activity, need more proteins? That is something. So we are not learning for whatever that is. We are more behind that questions. What if someone does now do activities, but not so much that the muscles are growing? Do they now need more proteins, or do they not need proteins more because they did the sport? Age, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. These are. What do we mean with age? Maybe we mean height growth of it. It would be now interesting to see how the demand for proteins goes lower, if it goes lower, with rising age. If there would be any type of correlance between the aging affecting the cell growth and the protein amount. What if it goes down protein amount because the cells are not rebuilding that good or whatever? So we are more behind these questions. What is meant with age is one question basically. Is there managed during childhood, growing and height? And then it would be really interesting to see if a protein demand goes down with aging. and what the reason for it is, and what consequences it has. Okay, the amount of proteins needed are age, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. Now, the big question to age is it just childhood men, so growing, or is it overall men? And then really interesting, does it count down the older, the longer a person is affected by aging? Some amino acids can only be obtained from the diet, and they are called essential amino acids. That is the next thing we're going to take. Essential amino acids means that these are amino acids which have to be taken through eating. Essential amino acids. Although proteins can be stored in the body, some amino acids can be converted by the body into other amino acids. Now, what does that mean? We don't really want an answer to it. We are more thankful for more questions we can come up with when we're getting answers. Other people have answers already. It's more worth to have a new question which no one before had than just to be another person who has the answer to a question which is already answered. Does that mean that the human body can get these essential amino acids from some food, then converts it to no, I know what it means, to another amino acid, and that amino acid can be stored, or that aminos can be somewhere and then back, so that basically shifting it around and then effectively it can be stored. But that, I think what I mean is the human body can get one type of amino acids and can create out of it another type of amino acid. Whatever it is, we are more thankful for two questions than to have an answer to whatever question. Although proteins cannot be stored in the body, some amino acids can be converted by the body into other amino acids. Proteins from meat and fish are called first-class proteins. They contain all the essential amino acids that cannot be made by the body. Now here would it be interesting, just assume this is not a simplification, just assume they are actually saying that every type of amino acid the human body needs is included in the first-class proteins. That would presume whether we as humans know of any type of amino acids the human body needs. And if you look at if any type of scientific research field and go just 1 year back, we found since then in basically every type of scientific research a new thing, and that we did not knew all then. So why should we know at this point know all the amino acids the human body needs? It would be very logical that we are lacking on a few and don't know whether the human body needs them or can use them, which basically puts in question the claim that the human body can get all from the first-class proteins. Because we cannot say it, because it is very likely that we don't know of all amino acids. Now, I don't know if that's true, but that is an interesting form. Plant proteins are called second-class proteins as they do not contain all the essential amino acids. Can these amino acids then form from them? Because yes, some amino acids can be converted by the body into other amino acids. Plants which have second-class proteins they do not contain all the essential amino acids. The amino acid that is in shortest supply is called the limiting. Now that's the next part we don't understand. The amino acid that is in shortest supply is called the limiting amino acid. Is that the word? Limiting amino acid? It would be easier if that word would be also blue like the other word, or written in uppercase, because it is like a name. It's called the limiting amino acid. It doesn't make sense. So, limiting amino acid. Why choose the word limiting amino acid? I suggest that we're careful with that word, because the other word, estimated average requirement, in blue, and even mentioned 2-3 times, doesn't sound to me like the proper professional name. Why should anything be called estimated average requirement? This name, estimated average requirement, does not include the name for which it stands. Any name has in for what it is. It could be the protein estimated average requirement, PEAR. But just like that, estimated average requirement, these are just words. So I'm careful with limiting amino acids word. whatever that means. And I already said in the last parts that I see two interpretations to it. That whatever is limited is the limiting amino acid, or the first one who is limited is always the limited. That one type is called it, because that's the first one. But that doesn't make sense. But why should we give the name to something? It's just what it is, which is the limited one. You could just also use another name. The one not enough of. No, my voice is giving up. If you care for biology, go directly to the next video. We're going to do short impingement training. And if you participate in the short impingement training, that's the armrest. We're going to show forward shorter circuits, go to stable state. And one last time. And now backwards. Next exercise. Long arms, strong fists, and go as far back as you can. High as possible. Forward. And down. And back. Up. Front and down. And up backwards. Up. Back. Down. Front. Up. Back. Down. Legs wide apart. Into the knees. Hinge forward. Let the arms sing. Pinch the scapulars with effort together. Now make fists and lift the arms up. Pinch the scapulars together. Lift the arms down and the scapulars. Second round. Pinch the scapulars together. Make fists, lift the arms up and still pinch the scapulars together. Lift the arms up. Similar exercise. Into the knees, hinge forward with the round back, let the arms hang, make fists, turn the arms inside, lift the arms high up, bring them together, straighten up, bring the shoulders down and together. The arms high up and together, shoulders down and together. And release. And again. Into the knees, hinge forward, round back, let the arms hang, make fists, turn the arms to the inside, lift the arms high up and bring them together, straighten up, bring the shoulders down together. Release. Next exercise. Lift the arms up. And again down with the arms. Again in with the arms. Lift the arms up. And down. If this exercise causes pain, then don't do it. And the last time. And down. Arms to the side. And bring the arms in front and back together. And in front and back together. Now we take one arm, bringing it in front, the shoulders back, down, pull the arm in, have flat fingers, try to relax the arm, count it back with the shoulder, and now turn the hand also a little bit with the palm up to the sky. And the other. In front, shoulder is back and down. Pull the arm in, have flat fingers, try to relax the arm, go with back of the shoulder, and then the palm big to the sky. That was a short impingement training. Now what idea I had, one little idea was that what if proteins are needed if someone is injured, if an injury has to be rebuilt, if someone has injured a muscle because of repair and growth. And another idea is when basically what if someone has internal inflammations and so on. What if when the protein demand is higher? What if it's possible to measure the protein amount, the demand, and then to know if there's internal inflammation somewhere? Or if internal inflammation is treatable with protein. So we're more here for these deeper questions. I thank you very much, and the next time.